Why did jQuery become popular in the late 2000 odds and early 2010? Simply put, jQuery was a force multiplier. It was, and still is, an abstraction for learning proper JavaScript. If you do not know what the term force multiplier mean in the software engineering context, essentially it means to increase productivity from the developers or designers that you already have without having to hire a developer with a specific JavaScript mastery skill set. And for a while, jQuery was great for what it was. But over time, teams started to become overly dependent upon it. Let me tell you a quick story. So, a few years ago, I was hired to actually, it was a consulting gig, but anyhow, I was asked to bring a team of three front-end developers up to speed in terms of software engineering skills, um, front end and back end, but more specifically JavaScripting. So I was talking to a developer, quote unquote, who was at that time classified as a front end developer, front end software engineer, as a matter of fact. And I was tasked specifically with getting rid of jQuery 1.x, right? As you can see here, why you would want to get rid of jQuery 1.x, okay? Now this was in late 17, early 18 time frame. And I was talking to this quote unquote web developer, and I mentioned that we are on the path to removing jQuery. And he asked me, "Oh, how am I supposed to do AJAX requests without jQuery?" Let me repeat that. How am I supposed to do AJAX request or asynchronous request to the API without jQuery? And this was somebody who's been a web developer, and I use that term very loosely, for 10 years, and then he was a designer before that, right? The guy started in the early 2000s. The guy has been um, in the business longer than I have. And he looked at me and asked me that question with a straight face. So, and I thought, how sad. How sad that someone who's been in the business that long did not realize that jQuery is basically an abstraction of JavaScript, and that on the on the back end, jQuery is all JavaScript. And the .ajax method in jQuery is an abstraction of the XML HTTP request object. He never took the time to learn JavaScript properly and never took the time to even peek at the source code in jQuery. Now, there could be many reasons for that, but I think at the end of the day, you have to look at the individual and their study habits and their work habits and their dedication to the craft. Okay? So I mentioned this because I think that jQuery, if you're using jQuery, please at least use the latest version, and understand why you're using jQuery. Okay, um, it is a force multiplier. I completely understand, It would probably make more sense at a small mom and pop software development shop. But at the enterprise level, you need to be like really, really questioning yourself. Without the great libraries and framework on the front end that we have in today's world, like Vue.js and React and Angular, okay, and I'm leaving out Ember. Ember was a wonderful framework. Unfortunately, is it's not as popular anymore. Durando's another one. Okay, Kindle UI if you want to go the paid route, but certainly Vue.js and React without Redux. Now that you can use React hooks is all viable option for jQuery. Um, if you're using jQuery only for AJAX requests to the server, please, you might want to take a look at something like Axios. Okay, um, but so all this to say that if you're going to use jQuery, make sure that you have an understanding of JavaScript. And if you're going to learn JavaScript, just learn the basics of JavaScript, and then make sure that you learn a solid uh, object-oriented programming language like C Sharp or Java or Go or even Python. And I know that in some circles these days, OOP is considered passe and might not consider viable anymore. But in the enterprise, there are a lot of OOP code base still around. So you're going to be, I would say, you're going to be neck deep in OOP languages for at least another decade, okay, if not longer, um, because they're still around and they make money, right? So why would you get rid of it? Um, so hopefully this was helpful to you. I am not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or trying to insult anyone. I'm trying to make you better developers and software engineers. Good luck.